Hey, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I know they are sleeping in Tokyo. You Tokyo people, you are entertaining us to the core. It's hot in Japan, my friend. It's very humid, it's stuffy, it is unfair, but that's where the World Championship are being held. And Tuko Riada has a perspective so far. I couldn't wake up this morning at 3 o'clock to watch the live show because they are really showing it at odd hours. I think Japan is, I don't know, a day ahead of us, we Americans. But Tuko Riada, a new subscriber, don't mind catching up. I have a catch up to do with you. Let's delve into straight an event that has created controversy. People are crying, war, war, war unto us. Americans are saying we are victims of disqualifications. No, you are not. Let me give you the 1500 meters event semi-final. It was controversy, carnage, drama, and everything you want to see in a semi-final. You'll ever see. I'm telling you, there was a lot of road kills. Will I call them track kills instead of road kills? There was a lot of mayhem in that semi-final. People were going down. I want to attribute this to something else. I think it's so hot. It's so unfairly humid. I think athletes, my perspective, my reflection, I think athletes are suffering from something else more than we are seeing. I don't see very healthy mental state for most of the athletes. They look stressed, they look distressed, they look lost, they're not comfortable. I'm not seeing the same caliber of athletes that are very focused. Let me tell you something, if you've never run in the heat, it can kind of put something in your head. You're not very sure. Even the races I'm watching here are very, very interesting. There's instability in the minds of the athletes because of the heat. People might not see that, but I've ran in the heat, and I can attribute some of those things to you can see a lot of stumbling, a lot of movements that are not very, they're unusual. I've never seen this kind of uh, show from athletes of this professional standard. I'm just giving you a perspective. As much as people might say it's just, you have to qualify the next round, they are sweating profusely before and after. And let me give you something else. Why do athletes have to go up the stairs after winning a race or finishing a race? Japan could have designed something better for them, honestly. I think it's an Olympic stadium, but athletes to finish a race, take their shoes off, and then have to climb up the stairs. Do these designers of stadiums know how hard it is for athletes when they are done racing? They are wasted, they are fatigued, they are tired, and you ask them to walk up the stairs. No room for the weary. They just have to go the stairs, and they have to give interviews to camera people and TV channels. I'm just observing from a distance. It's brutal in Tokyo. Talking of brutal, 1500 meters semifinals. Let's focus on one race in particular where Cole Hocker, the American, becomes a controversy. Amid the carnage, this was a very tactical, slow pedestrian in the beginning. The group was bunched. It came down the penultimate 400 meters lap. And still you could not separate the winner from the losers. Top 6 qualifies. You go home. You're fighting for that space. It comes down to what I call traffic jam, which we experience here. You've been to a city. You're fighting for space. Kenya is notorious with border. The dogs, the human beings, cars. You are trying to figure out, how do I get to top 6? Cole Hocker was in a good position, honestly. He would have been more patient. But this is what happens. He chose to say, where there's a will, there's a way. And so he performs what I call the bully tactics of 18-wheelers that are notoriously bullies on the road in America. He went the American way. I got to say, he went the American way. I've seen people sneaking in through the fast lane where there's a gap. You have to have the space. You cannot make contact with the other athlete. You cannot impede another athlete. He did that to a German athlete, I think it's Fenneken, or whatever his name is. I knew when I saw that, this is a DQ appeal by the Germans. They were quick, they appeal within the window they are given, and Cole Hocker is disgraced, is DQ'd, is disqualified, doesn't make the final. But you remember too, he barely made the team in the trials. He's not the same Cole Hocker that we saw in the Olympics. Let's not just blame this one here. I don't think he is the Cole Hocker we've been talking about or we saw in the Olympics. Even the Olympics, remember, he snuck through that, that gap in the final to win the gold. He always believes he'll find a way. But it's okay if you don't impede another athlete in the process to pass them. Don't touch anybody. That's the name of the sport, and that's the fairness of the game. You cannot plow through people. That's not sports, my friend. That's WWE. That's maybe football or soccer. In track and field, you have your lanes. You respect. Stay in your lane, Cole Hocker. He becomes a bully. He believes there's a will, there's a way. It doesn't bear fruits. He's exposed as that. I like the interview was given at the end of the race. He was asked by Johnson, the NBC guy, did you see what you did there at the end? He pretends not to have seen it. Then he says, oh, now that you say that, I remember I did that. And that was how he got indicted. I remember telling my wife, this is a DQ case here. Of course, the Americans have to try to reappeal. I don't think that stands the test of fairness in sports. Who wins that heat? It doesn't matter. Is the controversy? Yes. He's coming home. The gold medalist, Cole Hocker, has to go home and really evaluate why he had to use that bully tactic. Maybe you are not in shape, Cole Hocker, but you cannot plow your way and thinking you're going to make the final. There's cameras. People are watching. You are impeding another athlete. Never works. Even now, as I say that, the other heat was as interesting as it gets. Who wins that one? I think I'm surprised at the other chariot, not Timothy Chariot, who looks to me like the grandparent. Remember, right now we have two defending world champions in the 1500. We have Josh Kerr, 2023, and we have Timothy Chariot, 2019. This is going to be a great final. And then we have Laros, to me, as I stand here, as I sit here, I'm talking about controversy. I'm still saying if it comes, maybe something happens that he doesn't position himself well in the final. But the Dutch, Loris Niles, to me, he hasn't showed us that 12.500 meter speed that we've seen all season. If it comes down to the last 100 meters and he gets that easy, clear path to the gold, I still think he's the gold medalist. But so far what I'm watching is very tactical, very unpredictable 1500 meters. But you have veterans now in the final. In Josh Kerr, you have Timothy Chariot, and we have Raymond Chariot, who wins that heat, one of the heats. And now it is becoming who has what it takes mentally. I think it's going to be a mental game. It's going to be a mental final. Who has that edge mentally? Who is going to be in the best position? Because this is going to come down to the last 100 meters. I bet your life on it. Nobody's pushing any pace. Nobody's taking a race to the front. It's going to be pedestrian and then carnage, and maybe more controversy in the final. I tell you what, it is appetizing. It is worth watching. I'll wake up for the 1500 meters to see the final. When is it? I don't know, but I know it's going to happen in about 48 hours. That's going to be a great 1500 meters. But as of now, we have to go bury the dead in the 1500 meters semifinals. Controversy, drama. Wow. That's 1500, and my perspective remains the same. Cole Hocker You know that he went too low with that hook. You know what I'm saying? He went too low with that hook. You don't go that low, my man. You going home. And I think that was a good fit for him. I like the guy, but I don't care when you're not fair. You have to play fair on big stage. You are being watched. The world, the world is an even place in sports so far. And yes, 1500 meters is a must-watch final. I still think Laros Niles hasn't showed us yet what he's capable. Now we have, let me tell you something. In this 1500, we've lost Jakob Embriston, Cole Hocker, Fanuel Koyachi's gone. He flopped on the track, got up, bruised, home. He's back in Nairobi, I suspect, somewhere, right? I haven't seen Azzedine Habs, the French who ran 327. That is something I need to observe. Did I miss something? The French 327 guy, best time in the world. Am I missing something? This is Tukoriada, my friend. That's why we watch the sport. We have no idea what we're going to see next. It's been some surprises. And the surprise for you here is that we are still together. Talk to you later, my friend. Tukoriada, keep subscribing. Love you guys. The community continues from Tokyo.